Bueno, pues hoy nos encontramos en las instalaciones de Xenum, en Bélgica, en Astelar. Astelar, es complicado de pronunciar. Y eres el fundador y el dueño de Xenum. Y hay muchas preguntas que nos habéis hecho que nos gustaría hacerle directamente a él y que nos las pudiera contestar. Mr. Dorsin, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
For the people who is listening this video, I'm sorry for my English. I think it's not good, but I will try.
Don't worry, it's perfect.
The best as possible. The first question, in the market there are many additives, many engine oil additives. Your best product is the VRX 500.
Yes, it is.
Why you consider this is the best additive you can make in these days, nowadays?
Because I think this additive contains the ingredients, the best ingredients you can add to an oil, which are solid lubricants, and the best solid lubricants, the ceramic particles, boron nitride, and ester oils. These are ester oils, sometimes you find in oil, but at a very limited quantity. But these are two components who really can improve the quality of a standard oil. Also, the VRX 500, because you have some competitors who have ceramic particles, but there's a very high concentration, the highest concentration in the market compared to similar products.
Uh-huh. So you said you think it's not possible to make a better additive at this moment for the engine oil?
I think it would be very difficult. I think then you would have to formulate an oil from scratch if you want to improve the overall performance.
Thank you. The next question is also regarding the lubricants, special oils. Some people is answering why our special oils don't have normatives like Volkswagen one. For example, our ceramic oil, why it doesn't contain the Volkswagen normatives. Some people think it's because this is not suitable for this kind of cars, and the other one thinks it's because the quality of the oil is not enough good for showing this normative. What
I mean, what is the reason why?
Yes, I mean.
Well, I'm a technician, and if I would prefer, I would put no norms at all on these oils, because they are completely different from traditional oils from manufacturers, because they contain of course the ceramic particles. They contain a higher quantity of esters. And these oils are formulated to perform well in all engines, Volkswagen, Ford, Japanese cars, but also racing cars. So it's very different, because when you look at the standard oils for engines like the Volkswagen oil or the other ones, they're very similar. They're only details who are making a difference between them, and these are more not really technical reasons, they are more commercial reasons, because each manufacturer wants to protect and wants to say we have our oil and it's different and it's better, or it needs our engine needs our oils, and but when you have a good product, a good oil, it will perform good in all the engines, because there is something like you cannot too well lubricate an engine. So if you make an oil which is better than the standard products, than all the standard products, it will suit to all the engines.
So you mean if we have a top quality oil, it's not very important the normatives of the manufacturer, because the oil will be suitable for any kind of engines if the viscosity is the right one, right?
Roughly you could say this, but of course you have to be careful with the for example, with diesel particle filter and catalyzers, there are certain products you cannot put inside, which could damage these systems. But roughly, the detergency, the shear stability, the viscosity index, and these basic ingredients are similar to in all these oils from the manufacturers. So we have these basic parameters. They are very similar. And then on top of this we add our extra ingredients which improve the quality. So the product will perform good in all the engines, and in the meantime this oil exists since 14 years, and the results, all the people who are using them are very loyal and are very, very satisfied.
Interesting. Many people is asking if a conventional oil, good quality oil, but conventional cheap oil, an engine can resist several kilometers with no problems. So why to spend more in a special lubricant or special additive for the oil if the engine can resist for long? We want to know your opinion.
That's a very good question, and in fact there are two reasons. The first reason, when you reduce the internal friction in the engine, you will have a very small, relatively small improvement in fuel consumption. And already this improvement in fuel consumption will justify the extra price of the special oil.
Mm-hmm.
And also when the engine picks up kilometers, you do 100, 200,000 kilometers, the engine will wear out very slowly, you will not feel it. But when you compare the engine to when it's new, also the fuel consumption will have gone up a little bit, and when you add on all these changes, you will see that it will be cheaper to use a special oil, which costs more, than to use a conventional oil without noticing a little increase in fuel consumption, a little increase in oil consumption, and so on.
And in how many years do you think we can feel this difference? So some people say, I will keep my car only for 7 years. So
I think from the first day, because you will have a reduction in fuel consumption, let's say 2 or 3%. And when you see how much fuel you consume, you only put 5 liters or 4 liters of oil in your car, but you consume many liters of fuel, which is expensive. And when you have a saving on this fuel, it already compensates the extra price of the oil. So I think from day one you can have an advantage in using a special oil.
So it deserves.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm convinced of that.
More questions about oils. Why do you think the popular brands like Castrol, Motul, other brands are not using ceramic, graphite, PAG oil bases in their formulations?
Well, first of all, I would not say they're not using them because they use them in industrial oils for special applications. High
you
temperature.
mean the ceramic also?
Yeah, sure. Also, one of the brands you mentioned, I'm not sure today because I don't have the information anymore, but I know they use ceramic in racing oils for motorbikes and for cars.
Also for motorbikes?
Yes.
So it's suitable, the ceramic for motorbikes is suitable?
Yes,
too.
it is suitable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And of course there is a second reason that you have a solid additive in the oil which requires special attention. When you fill the cans with these oils, afterwards these systems must be cleaned very well because you cannot not have contamination with other oils. You have to take care of the stability because the solid particles always can settle a little bit in the tanks or in the bottles. So it takes a lot of attention, which for a big company it's not very nice to, or they are a little bit uncomfortable to take.
It makes it more complex to produce,
yes.
More expensive, will take more time.
Absolutely.
Maybe more problems for transport too, because the solid?
Yes, sure. When you transport, certainly when you transport it in bulk, always before you have to fill, you have to mix it again to make sure that the concentration is very, very equal in the complete volume of the oil. So let's say it's a bit inconvenient for them to produce this, certainly in bigger volumes like the automotive market, which is a very big market in terms of volumes.
So maybe we can say they are trying to get a good product, but not with the best ingredients, but getting the best profit with less job. Something like
yes,
this.
And I think also I from my experience working for petrol companies, for them it's also very important to have a good margin. So they will try to make an oil which is as low as possible cost, and to sell it as high as possible to have the best margin. And these products like ceramics are quite expensive, and if they can make a product which is cheaper, which doesn't mean that it's not a good product.
I'm sorry. You were talking about the margin of the companies.
Yeah, I think a petrol company will always look at, of course, the products are very good. You cannot say that companies like Castrol, Shell, Mobil are making bad products. These products are very good. They meet the standards, and the car will be able to drive many kilometers. But they will always look at the margin. If they can make a product which is good at the lowest price, they will go into that direction. And also the laboratories are working very hard to try to make the oil with similar quality as cheap as possible. Of course, these solid lubricants are quite expensive.
That it's a business,
yeah.
The business of the oil. Interesting. Okay, we know you have a very good quality additives. In fact, in our web shop, we are selling the Xenum additives. Our top sellings are for Xenum. We know you have very good products, and I can imagine you are analyzing the other products in the market from other brands for checking what they are doing. So my question is, do you think you can consider Xenum one of the best range of additives nowadays?
Well, first of all, we don't analyze so much the products of the competitors, because from our experience we know more or less what is inside. And when I started this company, the aim was to offer to the market the best possible products, which doesn't mean that our competitors don't have good products. There are very serious competitors which have very good products, but I'm sure to say that we are at least at the level of their products. And when they're coming out with new products which are very good, we will always aim to do better, or at the very least, at the same level.
The last question: some people is thinking about the future. The engine will change. The electrical cars seems to be arrive very soon. And what's your plans for the future with Xenum? Thinking in the new cars will arrive, and maybe new products you are thinking in develop. We haven't now.
Yeah, I think the future is very interesting, and I have to admit that I'm very excited about electric cars, and so we are thinking with the same philosophy as we are making additives or oils, to make also, for example, car care products for the future. Because
car care, you make polies, cleaners?
Yes, we are working on this to have a top range car care products, because electric cars will get dirty, so they must be cleaned. But we are not worried on a, let's say, a medium term, because when you see today the majority of cars which are produced are still petrol and diesel cars, and they will be on the roads for many years. Also, we are selling quite important volumes in countries like Russia or Asian countries, where the electric cars will have a very small share in the coming 20, 30 years. So I think it's not really, for the existence of our company, it's not really a short time issue. On the contrary, I think it's exciting times. And we will be ready for these changes.
So we are looking forward to see your new creations, new products, and looking forward to try it also. So I don't want to steal you more time, Mr. Tossing. Thank you very much for your time, and keep in touch.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Nos encontramos en la planta de envasado. Ahora mismo están preparando Xenum Complex y vamos a ver un poco cómo funcionan las máquinas. Tenemos los botes vacíos. Aquí no hay nada dentro. Y esta máquina de aquí es la que se encarga de rellenar el producto. Vamos a ver cómo bajan las agujas. Se está llenando el producto y llenan el bote. Por esto es una máquina muy calibrada, muy precisa. y esta es la parte en la que se pone la etiqueta. No, se pone el tapón. El tapón. Vamos a ver. Tapón puesto. Y luego viene la planta de etiquetado. Luego te van por aquí. Ajá, mira, aquí es donde se ve la etiqueta. Y aquí es donde está el producto que la máquina va tomando. Esto es Complex Petrol. El producto entra por aquí y va a la zona de carga que vimos antes, desde la parte trasera. Estos son botes de Xenum in-out diésel, están vacíos, claro, pero todos estos botes en algún momento se van a llenar en la planta. Bueno, las instalaciones la verdad es que están muy limpias. O sea, lo que hemos grabado antes estaba sin limpiar y estaba bastante limpio, pero sin embargo, bueno, hemos estado en otras fábricas y aquí por lo menos el tema de la limpieza lo van cuidando bien. Who is placing the cans inside the carton? Is it a human or a machine? The cans,
Yeah?
inside the carton, the empty carton.
Yeah, I do it.
Are doing yourself manually? So this is a part manually.
Yeah. I'll put I'll check first. Dot, number, and label. If that's all okay, we put it in the box.
So you are checking manually each can.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
Oh yeah.
A long-term job.
Yeah. When you have 5,000 cans, then.
Could you show me how you are filling the carton with the cans?
Yeah. So they come to here. Sometimes you have bad ones. Also. or a can. It's
what you are doing with these cans?
we throw it away. The product will be back in the box. The cans we throw it away. So it comes to here. I check number, label okay, dot okay. I put it in the box.
In the box manually. Oh, it's really automatic too. Nice.
So also
The boats?
Yeah. 12 in the box. 12 bottles in the box. Yeah. Next year there will be a whole new line.
New line.
Yeah.
For what? Which is the difference?
Four deck. 4 needles. So this one is
4 needles.
two.
So
Yeah.
you can
Yes,
double the
4.
production.
Yeah. It's necessary. Otherwise, yeah. Okay.
Now it's stopped.
Yeah. Sometimes the product before is 1 liter. This is 300 milliliter. The band is something like that. Liter, is bigger one. So we start a bottle in the middle.
And you
You put
regulate
the bars.
manually depending the size of the can.
Yeah.
Ah.
You put the bar, something like that. You see? We push it manual.
The indirect pipe is manual, really, but this is very hard.
Yeah. Sometimes that gets
But in each can,
Yeah.
there is no machine to put it automatically.
No.
Oh my goodness!
No machine.
Oh,
Hands.
oh. And I have a question. In my warehouse, I'm using gloves, but you aren't using gloves. Why not?
So it's not easy to work. Just that you have big hands and small bottle, so it doesn't work.
Bueno, aquí discrepamos un poco. Yo uso guantes, lo sabéis por otro vídeo, para manipular cualquier bote, y aquí manipulan cientos, miles y nada. Son trabajos que están súper automatizados, pero hay una parte manual que no la pueden quitar. El hecho de que metan los botes en las cajas manualmente, la preparación del palet es a mano, y lo que nos ha explicado el chico, que meten los tubitos de los productos con dosificador a mano. Se ha marchado a... Creo que ha ido a buscar una herramienta para enseñarme cómo se hace. Ahora lo enseñamos. Look how many they have.
And you put it in a bottle.
And you have a special tool just for this. This is a tool.
This is my special tool.
Oh, this is like your hell,
Yeah.
personal hell in the company.
So I take a bunch, and they will come with two, and then it goes to the.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me. It's very interesting. Thank you. Bueno, estamos en la parte de mezcla. Ahora no están trabajando en esta parte, pero por eso hay que llevar gafas, por si hubiera algo en el ambiente, supongo. Y pues tienen aquí algunos recipientes donde se mezclan los ingredientes de los aditivos antes de que salgan a producción.